listen to fall to the floor.
Hello, welcome back to another Pen Talk. Today is going to be a continuation of a theme that I've been developing and working on, the Franken Pen, which has a lot of different definitions to it, but my definition is finding some vintage parts and putting them together into a working, functioning pen. Those parts may or may not be from the same pen model, the same pen manufacturer. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to show two pens that I'm going to be restoring from their current condition into a working condition. And I have high expectations that they will be excellent writing instruments. I'm a lover of our society, our group, people that love fountain pens. And when I was in the DC Pen Show last year, I joined PCA, and I get this magazine about a couple times a year. It's extremely well done. Magazines are certainly not as popular as they used to be, and I'm certain they are eventually going to pretty much disappear, except for the same type of people that like vinyl records. There will be some people that want to actually have printed material that they use to read from, observe from, collect, maintain. And this is a great catalog. You got your Deco Band, which is a phenomenal pen, not necessarily my taste. Then you have a series of articles, and what really caught my attention was the editorial. I'm trying to catch everything popular. So this is from Jonathan Wheely, who's the current editor of PCA, the Pen Collectors of America. That's their symbol. So his article talks about what he observed in the Philly Pen Show this year, which I also attended. And what he observed was the same thing that I observed. There were a number of new, younger people interested in fountain pens, having the same type of passion and commitment that a lot of us that grew up with fountain pens have, that we've seen that interest wane and ebb and flow. But I agree with him, there's a resurgence of this, and hopefully at the Washington DC Pen Show I'll get a chance to sit down and maybe have a brief conversation with him, maybe record the interview to be posted on YouTube. That's kind of a concept I've had for a while, but haven't felt right doing it, and I don't do anything until I feel right about it. That's one of my nature. So these are the two pens. So the first one is the one I'm really looking forward to more than anything else. It's a Waterman, and this is that great blue and green ripple. This is the only example I have of it, which is just a barrel. This is a 54, so it's a little bit bigger than the 52. It'll take a number 4 nib. And I have, this is the cap from a 7 Waterman, and amazingly it threads on very well. So I wanted to show you what these things look like before I do anything to them. Yeah, this is in okay shape. I have a lot of number 7s where this clip just is loose and doesn't work, but this seems to be in good shape. Yeah, it might require a little rebending there to still have tension against the cap. And the cap band is okay. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with this that a good cleaning and waxing is not going to address. And one of the things you'll see is the feed is kind of stuck out and there's no nib on this pen, but I happen to be fortunate to have a number of Waterman nibs from 2 through 7, so I'll find one that'll fit this. I'm certain I'll find one with a little bit of flex to it, and I'm going to polish this up and see how much I can bring out the colors. And this is another one that I found, again, a cap that just happened to fit onto this barrel. And if memory serves me right, this is a number 3. Great acrylics that they used in the 3s. I have a series of these. I did a video on one of these that has a phenomenal nib in it. This one also has a nib. So I'm going to be cleaning this up, restoring it, opening it up, seeing, I'm assuming that sacks are going to be needed on all these. And I'll progress through that like I kind of did with the other Franken 52V that I did. Hopefully you'll enjoy seeing how this progresses from its current state, which is not really that bad, into a working pen. Here we are at stage 2 of the restoration process of these 2 new Franken pens. I've just done a polish, and hopefully you can see how the luster and the colors have come out. There's not a lot of green in here. It's mostly blue. I don't think this light is doing justice. That looks a little bit better there. And the cap also came up nice. You know, there's a few scratches here and there. I took out the pressure bar. As you can see, it's very black, but you know, I'll refinish that and put it into nice working order. And I did a little bit of cleanup on the section. So that's ready to go. It was very easy to take apart. Both of these pens were easy to take apart. So the number 3, this came out in one piece, and those of you that have seen my restoration videos, I love when this happens because I know this pen has not been restored by anybody else. It's not been messed around with. This bladder is not going to be usable, so I'll remove this bladder, you know, do my flushy thing with the feed, which I've shown you before. I think the barrel came out excellent. I mean, I think that's a phenomenal acrylic, a lot of depth to it, incredible amount of variations in colors, not something you've ever will see in a modern pen. That didn't take a lot of polishing, and of course the cap also didn't require a lot. This is the newer style Waterman. This is from the 40s, I would guess, late 30s at the earliest. So I'm amazed that they all fit together. You know, there's 10 or plus years difference between the cap and the barrel in both of these pens. So the feed that I took out of the 54 blue was a lot of ink in it. So I have it soaking in this mild cleansing solution. You know, you can get pen cleaner solution, or you can make your own. If you look at the ingredients on the pen cleaner solution, it's a little bit of ammonia, a little bit of surfactant, you know, some type of, you know, ivory soap would work, or any type of mild detergent. Excuse me. I'll let this soak for a little bit and then clean it up. I mean, this is, to me, the easiest way to remove the ink rather than doing something mechanical. I'm still trying to play around with these LED lights that I have. I don't think they give a color that works well with this video camera, but what I'm trying to do is bring out the depth in this acrylic. Could be celluloid, but I don't think so. But, you know, because it cleans up and it's harder, and I don't think it has the sensitivity to water that celluloid does. But hopefully this other light, you know, there's a little bit of western sun and this LED lighting. Hopefully that's bringing out the depth and the color variation in this barrel on the Waterman number 3. Those of you that follow me know that I like to restore the pressure bar inside the Waterman to something that's nice, nice and clean, get the corrosion off. Nice cut of wax. There's the little tab that when you slide this onto the pressure bar, it slips over that tab and then locks it in place so it doesn't fall out. So again, cleaned up very well. No patent pending on this one, but this is a newer pen. Hello. We're at the final stage of these 2 Franken pens. The Waterman's number 3 has been inked up. This one was the easiest one to get into working order. Some nice muted sunlight out there, so hopefully that's showing off the excellent colors in this acrylic. Turn it around so you can see the nice imprint that's there. And of course this is a number 3. So this came out very nice. It has been inked up with Waterman's blue. Nice number 17 bladder in there. So here's the big boy of the group, which is also now restored with a bladder. You may have remembered that when I first showed this pen, the feed was stuck out. It took a lot of work to get the feed to fit well with this nib in this section. I almost thought about replacing the feed with another one, but I tried to stay true to the components that I started with in my Franken pen. So I really love this color combination, kind of unique for Watermans. At least I have not seen many of these. See if we can find the engravings on here. That's unusual. There is one little flaw here, which I didn't polish out or do anything with. I left it as I found it, so that's where we got it. So we're going to ink this up for the first time. So we're going to do palm green. I thought would be an appropriate color for this interesting pen. And I've used this ink in some other old Waterman Flex pens, and I really like the way that it works. We're going to do a couple, as my usual, 3. You can hear the bubbles come out. You may also hear the rooster in the background. So we'll do one final one. The lever clicks in place really nice. I did a little bit of work on that. So we'll bring it out of the bottle, and these bottles, as they start getting low, do have some challenges, so I may be transferring this to something a little bit easier to extract from, but it's nice to have all this ink to use. And I'll wipe off the section and the nib. Like I said, I put this together with a nib that I had. I really did a lot of work on getting it in place. So we're going to zoom in a little bit so we can take a look at this nib on paper. And that's something that I was worried about, but you know, this is something I've not done before, is put the nib feed and section together. So I just did a little bit of priming. And I think this needs to go back into the workbench. So we'll cap this one. Said that was my first attempt at this. This one I didn't do anything with the nib and feed. And this one writes as I expected. I did a little smoothing on the nib. I mean, this is really glides. I say it's a semi-flex, which is fine. For everyday writing, this is really an excellent nib, excellent size. It posts well. So I'm going to revisit the 94 and see what I can do to potentially get that writing again. It's a challenge, something I haven't done before. If I can't get it done at the Washington Pen Show, I'll see if someone can help me out. Well, we're back with the 94. As you can see, it's a good size pen when it's posted. It's light, it's balanced. It didn't take much to get the ink flow. I don't know exactly what the problem was, but it's now been corrected. I just did a slight smoothing on the nib. This nib is not as flexible as I expected from playing with it before I put it in this pen, but it is a very nice nib, very comfortable to use. And I'm very happy that I eventually got it to write, and it's been writing consistently. You know, and it lays down your 2, 3, 4, 5, your typical wet Waterman's writer. So I'm really happy that this pen is functioning well, something I put together from various parts. So if you happen to be at the DC Pen Show, if you happen to see a tall dude in a orange hat, come over and say hi. And if you want to write with some of my Franken pens, I'll have them with me. So thank you for watching. And may you have great pen experiences, great writing experiences, explore, expand, and enjoy. Bye.